Research is incredibly important when you want to talk about a big whiskey festival happening this week. Thursday's the day for the 2015 Calgary Whisky Festival in support of the MS Society. Andrew Ferguson here this morning talking whiskey and scotches. Andrew is the Scotch and whiskey expert at Kensington Wine Market, also the manager. And before we get to what you have on the table for us today, tell us about the event and the connection to the MS Society.
Sure. Well, this is the fourth year for the Calgary MS Whisky Festival. It's a festival, all of the proceeds of which go towards supporting research into finding a cure for MS, as well as supporting those living with MS in our community. And this year's event, we're expecting 500 people, a sellout crowd. Last year we had 400, it sold out as well. And at this moment, we've got about 50 tickets left for the event.
Only 50 out of 500 less, so you're going to have to jump on that. We'll have details on how you can get tickets in just a second. Are these is this a sampling of what you can get on Thursday? Or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I thought I'd bring a range of some different things and some different styles. The first 5 bottles here are things that everyone coming can try. The one on the end here is a bit of a special bottle. It's something for a VIP tasting that's happening at the start. Some guests have paid a little bit extra to do a very special tasting with Macallan, and that's a special bottle for that.
Yeah.
But everyone else can still get in. They can buy tickets through the MS Society or through Kensington Wine Market, and we'll have over 180 whiskeys for them to try at the event.
The first one is a Japanese whiskey, which is interesting, right?
The Japanese, it might surprise a lot of people, have been making whiskey for almost 100 years. They make it very much in the Scottish style. They make it in the traditional Scottish style. This Japanese whiskey is very unique because it's a style you don't even see in Scotland. It's a grain whiskey, which is a component of a blend, but instead of using corn or wheat to make it, they've made it with barley, which is much more expensive, but creates a lot more flavor.
Cool.
So in some ways, it's like a single malt, but from a column still rather than a pot still.
Okay, and I like the name of this one. This is called a Lost Blend. And what's this one all about?
Well, Compass Box, which is the blender, is a boutique blending company. They've kind of tried to take the excitement around single malts and take it back to blends, which is still 90% of the whiskey that's drank out there. Things like Johnny Walker, Chivas Regal. This is a blend that they used to produce called a Luthra that was available about a decade ago. But it was the requirement they had for it is they needed certain styles of whiskey to blend together in order to create it. And it's been more than a decade since they've been able to produce it. So they came up with this concept of reintroducing the Lost Blend, this blend that they couldn't create for more than a decade.
Yeah.
And this is a new release that just came in, very limited, maybe 120 bottles of it in Alberta.
That's it, eh? Okay. And somewhat limited. This is something that you guys had bottled in particular, specifically just to your store.
Yeah. So one of the things that we specialize in, and we're not the only store in town that does that, but we take a lot of pride and effort in it, is selecting barrels to have bottled exclusively for our shop. This is a 1993 single cask of Glendronach, 20 years of age, cask strength. We do about 8 or 9 barrels a year through the shop, and this is probably one of the finest we've had yet.
I sampled a little bit of this over the holidays, and I can attest that it does taste pretty good. I love anything aged in a sherry cask. How about the next one here?
Sure. This is a really unique bottle. It's from a club called the Scotch Malt Whisky Society. It's the world's largest whiskey club. They have around 30,000 members in about 20 different countries where there are branches of the society. This whiskey is from a distillery called Beaumont. The society doesn't promote that, though. They have a unique numbering system that tells you which distillery it is and which cask it's from. You have to be a member of this club to buy the whiskeys from the club. But anyone coming to this event on Thursday will be able to sample these as well. And if they decide they want to join and buy bottles afterwards, they can.
There you go. And real quick about the last two. The Kilchoman?
The Kilchoman is an Islay whiskey, which is the island famous for peated whiskeys.
Yeah, very peaty, right?
This one's really unique, though, because the distillery, which is very small, grows the barley themselves, malts it on site, distills, matures, and bottles it on site. This is the only whiskey in Scotland where they do every single component at the distillery on site.
And the Macallan number 6.
This is one of Macallan's new top-end whiskeys. As you can see, it's in a beautiful decanter. It's a Elite Crystal decanter. They haven't told us how old the whiskeys are, but they're mostly between 25 and 40 years of age.
Okay.
Very elegant. This is a $4,000 bottle, and it will be a real treat for people at the VIP tasting.
No kidding. The VIP event that's happening at the beginning of Thursday's event is sold out. So next year, you want to jump early on that. There's only 50 tickets left to this Thursday's 2015 Calgary Whisky Festival. Again, you can get the tickets through Kensington Wine Market, all through the MS Society, breakfasttelevision.ca. We have all kinds of links on there. Andrew, thanks for coming in.